Newsmen gathered that the Sunday meeting was part of NMA's effort aimed at fulfilling the pledge made to the president to intervene in the industrial action. Sources private to discussion at the meeting revealed that there was a heated argument between the NARD and NMA teams as the Western doctors remained adamant. The federal government may unleash the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission and other related offenses (ICPC) to go after some medical doctors who were not qualified to collect medical training allowance meant for house officers on residency training program in 2020 to the tune of 540 million naira. According to reports at the Federal Ministry of Health, Labor and Employment at the weekend disclosed that the Federal Ministry of Health was considering reporting the doctors who have failed to refund the alleged illegal payment back to the Treasury to the anti-corruption agencies. One of the sources said there were three categories of medical officers involved in the scam, including some consultant doctors. The source further said that the government had accused management of some of the teaching hospitals of allegedly smuggling names of those who had completed the residency training program into the list of house officers that received payment for the medical training fund in 2020. However, regarding the smuggling of names into the salary payment of platforms, reports said that the federal government has issued queries to the chief medical directors of federal teaching hospitals involved in the illegality. About 205 doctors were said to have been illegally recruited in the Ibadan Teaching Hospital, while the Calabar Teaching Hospital carried illegal recruitment of over 100 doctors out of the 500 health workers. Schools are set to resume today for the commencement of the 2021-2022 academic session across the country, but according to reports, it won't be a cherry return for thousands of pupils, especially in northern Nigeria, already traumatized by reports of incessant mass abductions. Already, stakeholders have expressed fears over the security of learners and teachers. Data released by United Nations Children's Fund (UNICEF) in 2018 showed that more than 600,000 children have lost access to education due to disruptions in learning occasioned by kidnappings. The report said an estimated 2,295 teachers have been killed and over 19,000 others displaced, while more than 1,400 schools have been destroyed, damaged, or looted since the insurgency started in the Northeast in 2009. Meanwhile, Save the Children International at the weekend urged the federal government and state governments to put in place mechanisms that would ensure the protection of schools and other learning environments. The organization said from January to August 2021, more than 1,000 children have been abducted in the country for ransom, with some many of them still in the hands of their abductors. You are still listening to the news at 10 on T Solid Radio. Still to come is the foreign and sports news. Do remember that you can download our app T Solid on Play Store. Log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our social media platforms or at T Solid Radio TV. Yes. Suluhu has revoked Mr. Faustin Ndugulile Chamorro Morgan Kahalamani Makam Spagumena. And now to some foreign story. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu has revoked the appointment of three cabinet ministers and appointed new attorney general. Those sacked are the Communication Minister Faustin Ndugulile, Leonard Chamurio Transport, and Midad Kalemani Energy. President Suluhu brought back January Makamba, whose appointment had been revoked by former President John Magufuli. Mr. Makamba will now head the Energy Ministry, while Stargomina Tax becomes the first woman to be in charge of defense. The president also appointed Judge Eliezer Feleshi as the new Attorney General to replace Adelodos Kelangi, who has been appointed as an ambassador. Chadian strongman General Mohammad Idris Deby Itno will fly to Qatar this weekend, to a country where a leading rebel lives in exile. Deby took the reins in Chad after his father, 30-year-old President Idris Deby Itno, was killed fighting insurgents in April. The president's protocol department, without giving details, said Deby would make a friendship and working visit to Doha from Sunday. He has recently made overtures to armed groups in the hope of coaxing them into a national reconciliation forum. He has notably promised concrete actions to amnesty fighters, release prisoners, and help combatants return to normal life. Still on the foreign scene, Tunisian President Kais Saied has announced plans to amend the constitution and form a new government months after he dismissed the prime minister and suspended parliament in moves his critics called a coup, but he declined to give specific timeline. Said also said it was necessary to change the constitution. Said, who was elected in late 2019, the legal theorist and former law professor, billed himself as the ultimate interpreter of the Constitution. He invoked that power on July 25th to fire the Prime Minister, freeze Parliament, and assume all executive powers. The power grab came amid chronic legislative infighting that had crippled governance and was followed by a sweeping anti corruption drive that has included detentions, travel bans, house arrest, among others, of politicians, businessmen, and judicial officials. However, Said is yet to appoint a new government or reveal a roadmap towards normality, despite repeated demands by political parties. The South African president has announced the easing of some restrictions that have been in place to curb the spread of coronavirus. In a televised address, Ramaphosa said due to a decline in infections, an overnight curfew will be shortened, alcohol restrictions will be eased, and larger gatherings allowed. He said the supply of vaccines was no longer a constraint and called on people to play their part in stopping the spread of the virus by coming forward to get jabbed. About 1 in 5 adults in South Africa has now been fully jabbed, which is a far higher rate than anywhere else in Africa. According to reports, it is the worst hit country on the continent, with close to 85,000 deaths from COVID 19, while about 3% of Africa's population has been vaccinated. And finally, in the exciting world of sports, this morning Ghana's Black Queens, the female Eagles of Mali, and Atlas Lioness of Morocco will all jet into the country through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, early today for the maiden Aisha Buhari Invitational Women's Football Tournament in Lagos, while the Queens and Eagles are billed to arrive in Nigeria aboard a chartered flight. The Lionesses are coming into town aboard a Royal Air Morocco flight. Organizers announced on Sunday that all the six matches of the international showpiece in honor of the wife of the president will now hold at an upgraded Mobolaji Johnson Arena, Unico. While Morocco and Mali are in Group A with Nigeria, Ghana's Black Queens, two-time runners-up of the African Women's Cup of Nations, tackle Cameroon and South Africa in Group B. Nine-time African champions Nigeria will also move into the team hotel today as organizers, teams, and officials look forward to Wednesday's opening ceremony that will see the Super Falcons take on Mali from 4 p.m. Meanwhile, Tokyo Olympics women football tournament official Patience Madu is at the top of the list of match officials for the event. Madu is the only Nigerian referee on the list. Daniil Medvedev has shattered Novak Djokovic's Grand Slam with a straight set victory in the US Open final on Sunday, denying the world number one a record breaking 21st major men's single title. Russia's second ranked Medvedev dominated Djokovic 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 to prevent the first calendar year Grand Slam since 1969 and keep Djokovic a level with Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal atop the career slam title list. Medvedev, the 2019 US Open runner-up, captured his first Grand Slam title in his third Grand Slam final, a rematch of February's Australian Open final, won in straight set by the 34-year-old Serbian to launch his slam quest. Djokovic missed out on his fourth US Open title and will enter 2022 tied with big three rivals Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, both absent, with injuries on an all-time record 20 men's slam titles. Medvedev became the third Russian man to win a Grand Slam title after Yevgeny at the 1996 French Open and 1999 Australian Open, and Marat Safin at the 2000 US Open and 2005 Australian Open. Good morning. And with that, I've come to the end of the news. Here is a recap of the major headlines. Strike continues. NARD insists after meeting NMA. Worry over mass abductions as schools resume today. Tanzania president sacks three ministers. And in the world of sports, you heard Ghana, Mali, Morocco land in Lagos for Aisha Buhari Cup. Ensure to go by all precautionary measures to stay safe from COVID-19 as recommended by the WHO and NCDC. Do remember that you can download our app T Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our social media platforms, all at T Solid Radio TV. The news was compiled and edited by Akachi Chigokim, Mobola Bade Kale. Good morning, and thank you for listening.